Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order, and we have Ryan this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just kind of wanted to take some time and give you guys an update on how things are going and where we're at. So currently, as of this morning, there's still no positive cases in Cheyenne County that we're aware of. Some questions on that. I just want to, the numbers, we're getting lots of questions on why we're not reporting how many people are being tested necessarily, or PUIs, people under investigation and that. Some of that is, the state is keeping track of, our test numbers, but also given where we're at out here, some people may go to another hospital to get tested. So sometimes that information can be a little tricky to keep track of. So if you're getting questions on that. So, the SNS, the Strategic National Stockpile, I've had lots of questions over that. That's in the news, the federal government and all that. We did receive the SNS for Cheyenne County. It's based off of population. So the federal government sends out supplies to the state, and the state sends it out to each county based on their population. We have received that. That is earmarked for priority staff, including healthcare frontline staff. So we do not report inventories or anything like that for security reasons, but just to let you guys know, we did get that SNS. So.
Okay, good.
Will
it be adequate?
What's that?
Do you believe it'll be adequate?
It is adequate for right now, but if we start having cases, and obviously our burn rates will go up drastically. So, but currently we're still just in precautionary stage. So people are wearing PPE, like on ambulance runs, screening at the hospital, that sort of stuff.
So with the equipment that you possess now, and we start seeing an influx of positive cases and admissions, is there a chance to receive more, or is that just it?
Today, that's probably it.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
We did put in an order for some N95 masks and gowns, and also hand sanitizer. I did that in conjunction with some other counties to help with the amounts, because you have to order a high quantity. So we'll divide that out and kind of share that expense out.
Makes sense.
We got the order in just because you got to get it in, even though it may take a while to get that stuff. We don't know where we'll be at.
So there's no guarantees or there's no repository somewhere you can call up and say, hey, we need 12 more of these. Okay.
The state they have a lot of orders out, trying to get more stuff in that we can request through the state, but it's starting to trickle in. But all this stuff is on back order,
Sure.
and it's taking a long time to get stuff in. So we're trying to be as proactive as we can. If anything, some of the stuff we've ordered, when it does come in, it'll just replace what we've already used locally anyhow, which we got to do at some point. So,
Okay.
but we have to stay ahead of it because we don't know where we'll be at in 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
But as of today, yes, we're covered. So, also, Eric has been helping out with this a lot in the logistics, but we have to get everybody's inventory once a week, and we report that to the state and our burn rates. That is the information that they're compiling to send their request to FEMA for additional supplies. And so every Wednesday by 5 o'clock we have to have that turned in. So there's a lot of legwork to that too, but everybody's been cooperating very well as far as I know, and that's been going very well.
For the most part, yeah.
Good.
I've actually, side note that, I've actually requested that all the agencies try to work with me a little bit more and just do it daily. I think they have a better grasp on what they have if they do it an update daily, and we can see.
So they're going to get the information to you, and you'll forward it on every Wednesday.
Yep. I think, personally, I think the state's going to start asking for it daily anyway.
Well, yeah, if we see the numbers incline.
You can just see the steps. It's just a stair step thing, and they give you this time, and the next time they'll a little more. And so.
Kansas still looking at a possible peak the end of April, 28th, 30th, somewhere in there.
That's the last I've heard.
Yeah, I think this morning they pushed that out a week. They're saying May 5th.
And we're still waiting to hear from the governor in regards to an extension?
Yes. Currently, the stay-at-home order expires April 19th. The governor has stated that she is looking at extending that, but there's not been an official executive order doing that yet. So,
Well, the numbers in Kansas are still rising daily, so,
yeah. I mean, for the most part, Kansas is kind of plateaued out.
yeah.
We're not seeing huge spikes right now, but we're still getting lots of positives a day. Also, you know, Kit Carson County has 8 as of last night in their county,
Really?
and there's still the 2 in Yuma. So, I mean, we have it in neighboring counties. So. I just also want to clarify, I've got some questions on this as far as our local state of emergency. That is just put into place, one, so we could open up plans and get things in place. We could kind of streamline some processes and to start making plans to respond. We're currently not in response mode yet, but we're planned and we're ready if we have to go that route. But the other side of this too is within our plan, we have recovery operations. And so we're actually already working on that because obviously we're already seeing impacts to this disaster. Even though we may not have COVID in our county, we still have impacts because of this emergency. You know, you've got businesses that are shut down, people have lost jobs, all that. So we have, it's called ESF 14, it's the recovery support function. We have activated that, and we've actually brought some additional people on to help with that as well. Keeping track of, as you can imagine, just trying to track down all the businesses' phone numbers and emails and making sure the information is flowing out to them of what assistance is available. And so we'll be working on that even more in the next coming weeks. So we want to make sure that, you know, our local businesses and individuals are aware of all the possible assistance that's out there to help them through this. So we hope when this is all over, we still have all of our businesses. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're really trying to work on.
Well, I don't think that's hope of everyone. We just have to play the hand out and see.
Now, a lot of that, you know, we can give them the information, but the county per se can't apply for that assistance on their behalf. A lot of this right now is small business loans, unemployment benefits, stuff like that. They actually have to go and apply for that stuff on their own, but we can make sure that they have the information to do that. The other side of it is, as we get into down the road, the federal assistance, because this is a presidential emergency for the state of Kansas, any reimbursement on what they call public assistance, which is like government entities, and that we're already starting to track that, these expenses of, you know, what we're using as far as equipment, time, overtime, all that. We're tracking all that so that we can potentially seek reimbursement for that down the road. That also gets a little tricky because, you know, when you look at some of this equipment, you know, gloves and masks, we have to separate out what we're using specifically for COVID and what we would be using on a normal routine basis anyhow. Because you're only going to be reimbursed for stuff related to the emergency. So.
And this includes things like overtime and extra help and.
Right. Yep, we're keeping track of all that. So.
Okay.
And also the county declaration doesn't have anything to do with the stay-at-home orders, the orders limiting gatherings and all that. Those are state orders, and I've got lots of questions on that too. But
I have too.
Those are coming from the state level. That is not we have no local orders in place currently regarding movement or stay-at-home. So.
Do you think we're complying pretty well as a county?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Yep. County Health, I did talk to Tabitha this morning. They are monitoring several people, and they do have several people in voluntary quarantine, you know, that have traveled or whatever. So they are monitoring all of that. They have that contact information. They don't release any of that information, but they are in contact with those people and they are monitoring. And she said they do have several cases of that, so that they're working on. EMS staffing, we've still remained covered on our call schedule. We are having a few nights and weekends, you know, where it may be one here, one in Byrd, or two in Byrd covering the county. That's just kind of part of it right now. Also, you know, several of our EMTs have children, and now with school being out and stuff, you know, they have to change their schedules a little bit. So,
Well, as long as we stay in compliance with the State Board of EMS, we don't want to go down that road again.
Right.
But are they maintaining their strict policies?
yes. We do have one EMT that was placed on administrative leave last night, pending some more information. But for the most part, yes, everybody's been following what they need to.
Good.
And actually, we've looked at our, initially dispatch was doing screening questions, and that was kind of deciding whether they were going to suit up, so to speak, before they go in. Our call volume has went down, and so it's low enough. Our burn rates are not that high on PPE. So basically, our recommendation right now is they just suit up, because we don't know, And this has been constantly changing from when it began of what the symptoms are. Initially it was if they had symptoms, then you suited up. Well, now they're saying people can be asymptomatic. They can have this and show no signs of it. It's changed from beyond just the cough and the fever and shortness of breath. There's lots of other things now they're saying people experience with this. So it's just been changing. So to be, again, proactive, we're just encouraging everybody just to suit up. So take precautions. That's the hard part about EMS is they're called there and we don't diagnose, we don't have tests, we don't have anything until they get to the hospital to know what's actually going on.
Right. So taking the precautions is the right thing to do anyhow.
Right. Yeah. So any questions that you guys have had or questions asked of you?
People are always asking about the restrictions, and there again, I always try to emphasize it's not our idea. This started at a federal level, and it moved to the governor of the state of Kansas is running the show in Kansas, so we're abiding by her recommendations and her guidelines, and that's all there is. It's nothing we made up.
Right. Yep.
Just trying to keep the county open and going.
Yeah, and we've done that successfully. We've had a couple of bumps in the road, but I think especially the plan for the courthouse has worked fairly well for us.
And the team, the emergency team has been doing great. Everybody's worked well together. And there's been a lot of time spent on going through these executive orders and reading them and interpreting them and finding out exactly what it says, because that's almost a full-time job in itself of keeping track of all this as it's changing.
Well,
So
when it comes to the time for reimbursements and stuff like that, I think that's the kind of thing they'll look towards. Did the county actually follow the recommendations? Did we do as much as possible? I think those will play big roles in the months to come. If we can stay on top of it, I think that we're better off in the long run.
And that's why we have plans and guidelines in places to do what we need to be doing. So, and if we never end up in response mode, great, that's the point. So,
How far east is it?
I've not looked this morning, but last night I know Phillips County, Brooks County, Ellis County, they have positives, and Gove County.
And it's kind of sneaking up from the south, I know.
Yeah.
Scott, Eddie,
Scott.
and Ford.
Yeah, and Morton, Stanton, Hamilton, and Stevens, they're all pretty much southwest corner now has.
And then Southwest Nebraska, when I looked yesterday, they didn't really have anybody near us, so they're more north and east in Nebraska. So.
Well, if we can just keep everybody on this path, people's patience are getting thin, I understand.
The thing to remember about those numbers, though, those are only people that have gotten sick enough
Yes.
to go seek medical
Yes.
attention and
Yes.
get tested.
Yes.
There could be people that are asymptomatic and
Sure.
be spreading this, but they're not ill, and that's what we just don't know.
It's a new world. We're just,
Well, it's amazing how you watch license plates now. I go, well, what's that car doing here from Missouri? I mean, really, you go,
I saw New York the other day. I was like, what are you doing here?
And the thing, and I get lots of questions of, that essential function framework. People are still allowed to travel for
Yeah.
essential functions.
for the,
So, if your job takes you to Colorado, or, we've had law enforcement that's had to go to Colorado, EMS has had to go, they don't have to quarantine when they get back. That's essential functions. So people are still allowed to travel for essential functions. And you're still going to see people here from out of state, and that's just part of it. So, and
Yeah,
people
I know,
are
but
free to
I know
move.
what you're saying, but it's
Yeah.
still, you look around and go,
Yeah. People can still be moving in. They may have had plans 3 months ago to move here, but that's the things that county health is monitoring, and if they need to, they contact those people and and suggest quarantine.
And I had a family member the other day at a Dollar General witness local chewing out somebody with a Colorado plate for being in Dollar General. And it's like, there's a lot of people that
Right.
live on the line that come over and get
Right.
groceries.
And we have to be very careful of that because they're, by law, they are allowed to do that. So if you live in Idalia and you come over here to buy groceries, that's, you know,
It's probably where they were always buying them.
Well, Ryan, thank you.
again, if you have any questions, always get a hold of me now. So we like to stay ahead of rumors and that if we can, so.
Good luck with that,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. We got no qualms.
We got a lot of good people working on it, so.
Well, it shows.
And I am still traveling a little bit, just so you guys are aware, because I've got Sherman and Rollins County too, which is an essential function, so I am out and about, and people are seeing me out and about, but that's also part of my job, so.
All right, well, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you guys.
Good morning, Eric. What do you have for us this morning?
Oh, I just gotta upgrade the firewall. It's, we did that last year on the one here. This is for the M building. It's over 1,500, so I just want to make sure you're aware of it. It'll be the 2 years of licensing for upgrading.